Okay, we find the beginning. There we go. Section 9.1 is translations. We're going to be looking now at how shapes can be moved and changed across the coordinate plane. So transformations are any change in a figure's position, shape, or size. There are a couple of kinds of transformations. For all of them, the pre-image is the original image prior to any changes. The image is the new image after the transformations or after the changes. So the first thing we're going to look at is rigid motion. These are transformations that do not change the size of the pre-image. All side lengths and angle length measures remain the same. So if you take a look at these pictures, and we want to identify rigid motion. Remember, rigid motion means that the shape, the size does not change. So there's our image, our pre-image. And I'm going to label that A, B, C, D, E, F, and that's all. That's my pre-image. And then I have two transformations, this one and this one. Which one of these would be considered rigid motion? Which one does not change its size, but rather just its position? So hopefully you would say this one. We're going to match up the same values, and we're going to say this is F prime. This is our image after our pre-image. This is A prime, B prime. You notice I'm using the same variable for the same position on the shape. This one is not rigid motion. It is a transformation, but it made it bigger, so it's not rigid motion. Okay, so let's do another one. And this is similar to one I had, but let's say I label this W, X, Y, Z, P, and Q. Can you name, this is our pre-image. It's a rigid because the shape, the size stayed the same. Can you label the vertices in the image? So by looking at where we started, this would be W prime. This would be X prime. This would be Y prime. Z prime. P prime. And Q prime. So that's a very simple illustration of rigid motion. So we're going to call this a translation. A translation is a transformation. Remember, there's lots of kinds of transformations that maps all the points of a figure the same distance in the same direction. To write the translation that maps ABCD or triangle ABC onto triangle A prime, B prime, C prime, we write this as the translation of triangle ABC equals triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. This is a translation with a rigid motion that has the following properties. All translations are rigid motion. Properties for a translation. If the translation of triangle ABC equals triangle A prime, B prime, C prime, then A prime is the same length as B prime. I move my points the same distance. And C prime. Sorry, that should have a prime. And AB equals A prime, B prime. BC is B prime, C prime. And AC is A prime, C prime. And the angle measures from the original, the pre-image, and the translation are equal to each other. So what do? So here's A, B, and C. And I have moved everything over. You notice that the distance of B prime, the distance of C prime, and the distance of A prime is equal. They all form a right triangle with a hypotenuse joining two sides of 3 and 2. 3 and 2. 3 and 2. So from A, I am moving on the x-axis 2 units to the left and 3 units up. So what I say is that the translation of my x value going to the left 2, my y value going up 3, whoops, that's a bracket like that, that's my translation of triangle P, whoops, that should be ABC. I'm sorry, yeah, that's right. Of triangle ABC takes me to triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. Okay? So taking my original and seeing how I move it, X and Y, to get my translation. So finding the image of a translation using X and Y. So let's say this is my original triangle and I want to translate it using -2, -5. So P is going to go to the left 2 and down 5. Q is going to go to the left 2 and down 5. And R is going to go to the left 2 and down 5. So that creates my new triangle, my new P, my new Q, my new R, P prime, Q prime, R prime, and that's my translation using -2 and -5 of triangle PQR. And that's all we're doing today. Oops, there's another one. Let's write a rule. Sorry. So what did A do? A moved down 3 and to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the translation of -3, 9 of A, B, C, D should get me A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. I need to check all of them. So make sure I'm going down 3 to the right 9, down 3 to the right 9, and down 3 to the right 9. And once I've checked them all, I can say that this is my rule and this is my translation.